Hi everyone, you've bought your new artificial plant and you're all excited, you get it home and you want to set it. Okay, so today we've got a croton and what I'm going to do is demonstrate to you how we set plants, which we believe is the best way to do it. There's multiple ways, I've seen all sorts. The way that I'm going to show you will give you a lot of longevity and stability for the plant in the pot. And there's also some other little things you can do to add a bit of weight to the pot depending on where you're sitting it. But today's just a very basic indoor installation. Let's see how we go.
So what do we need? We've got our plant, we've got our pot, we need some tape and a plastic bag, polystyrene, something to cut the polystyrene with, some expander foam, some pebbles, polished preferably, and some PVC glue. So first step, we want to get a bit of an idea as to where we're going to sit the plant in the setting. General rule of thumb is 2 to 3 inches below the rim to give enough room for the polished stones. I'm just using a couple of upside down pots that I found lying around to use as a bit of a chock and get a measurement, and that one there looks like we're about right. So just have a bit of a look at it from standing back to make sure it's sitting nicely. You might need to make a couple little adjustments there to get the right angle on the trunk, but look, I'm pretty happy with what we've got there. Next step, we just use whatever we've used to chock up the pot as a guide, and here I'm marking off the polystyrene before I cut it. You could use the pot actually if you wanted to, but I prefer to use the polystyrene. It just gives a cleaner, sharper finish to my setting. Now I've gone off and cut it, and I've also had to bevel the edges to be able to fit it into the pot. And there we go, that's a nice clean fit there. Sit the pot on top, and then we can make any adjustments with some small bits of off-cut foam, as I've done just here. There we go. Once again, just making sure the trunk is centre, not so worried about the plastic pot on the inner. Perfect. Next, we use some masking tape to mask around the top of the pot. Now we do this to protect the pot from the expander foam. It is very, very sticky stuff, and it can occasionally expand outside of the pot, so we want to protect those edges and make sure that it doesn't stick to it. We also want to do the same to the plant. It's very difficult stuff to get off. If you do need to get it off, you can just use a little bit of acetone, depending on the surface that you're working with as to whether that's suitable. Next, we fill with some off-cut foam around the outside. This will give the expander foam something to expand against and hang on to, and put a bit of pressure onto the pot and create a nice snug fit. Now the fun bit, the expander foam. So you can buy one of these from Bunnings for about $14. Make sure you use the glove. It takes forever to get off, even with acetone. If you get some on your finger, make sure the nozzle's on nice and tight. Give it a really, really good shake, and then turning it upside down, let the expander foam release into the pot. Now it comes out at a rate of knots, so just be careful, but you'll get a feel for it as you go along. Make sure you plug as many holes as you can in between the foam offcuts and the plant. This is to make sure that none of the rocks fall down and end up rattling around in your pot. And just remembering it does expand, so you don't want to fill it all the way to the top. Okay, I've left it overnight to get a really good solid setting. Look, you can do it in as little as 2 hours, but generally leaving it overnight you'll get the best result. Grab a Stanley knife and a pair of scissors just to initially cut away the plastic bag. I like to leave the bottom part of the bag in the setting, just gives it a bit of a cleaner finish and enables the pot to be removed a lot easier when you need to adjust it or move the pot. So just clipping that away. Okay, and the pot should slide out easily. Sometimes it doesn't. Just chip it away with the Stanley knife if you can't get the pot out like I have there. Okay, now got a pretty good result here with the expander foam. There's a few little risers that I need to trim off. So for this, I'll just use the Stanley knife. You can use a serrated knife. Just make sure it's sharp so you're not sort of forcing the cut. And unlike what I did there, make sure you always cut away from yourself. Okay, I keep the little pieces of offcut. We can use those to plug any holes in the setting to ensure that the stones don't fall through. Okay, now I'm removing the tape, and I'll make any final adjustments. And here's the finished product. Note the plastic pot is a little off center. That's because the trunk wasn't exactly center in the pot, so that's perfectly fine. Right, now it's time to set the stones. So I'm going to put my plant in place and again make sure that I've got the positioning right. You can see there the trunk is nice and central. I've got my polished stones and my PVC glue. Now we use the outdoor PVC glue. It's just a little bit stronger and seems to get a better bond. So we put those into our bucket or mixing pot or whatever it is that you have around the place, and probably about a half a cup in this instance would be enough. Okay, just give that a really good stir. Okay, you can see here all the rocks are covered. Obviously it's got a white paste on it. That will dry clear, so don't worry about that. Okay, now we just simply pour them in over the setting. Make sure you get a nice even spread and you cover up all the foam and any of the black plastic that you can see through from the plastic pot. Just try to get nice coverage there. And of course that's going to dry nice and clear. Excellent. Now we're just going to do a bit of a cleanup. If you have any residual expander foam, you can always use a little bit of acetone. Just be careful of the material. Just make sure that the acetone's not going to dissolve the finish. Nice and clean. And there's the finished product, looking absolutely fantastic. We are on social media. Please share, like and subscribe, and you can follow us on Instagram as well. And please, we have time for all of our customers. If you're having any issues at all, please give us a call, email. We'll do everything we can to help you with your setting.